Very much for joining us at the last day of Live at the Dig. I'm Chris Crowley, Public Engagement Research Officer here at the University of Aberdeen. So it's been 7 days of excavation trying to find the site of the grammar school. And have we found it? Well, we think we found the entrance to it. This surface here is we think now leading to the threshold for the school itself. Perhaps what we're looking at here with this dip in the stone here is centuries of use as children and masters walked into and out of the school. Sort of slightly typical that on your last day you get what you've finally been looking for the whole time. Or possibly it's the fact that because you've been here for a week, you're just building up a better knowledge of the site and what you're finding underground. But again, to help us interpret what we've got here is Dr. Gordon Noble, Senior Lecturer in Archaeology. So Gordon, can you maybe tell us a little bit more about this?
Well, it's great, as you say, Chris, on the last day to find what we're looking for. And the clue this morning really was, we just had the edge of this big slab here. And we thought, well, that's quite exciting. So we just extended the trench ever so slightly, just to see what we had there. And it looks, as Chris was saying, to be the threshold into the grammar school, or presumably the grammar school. It's in the exact right location that we were looking for. So we've got the wall coming through here that we found earlier in the week, and that goes all the way through the trench, right down to the bottom. So some of the early depictions of the grammar school shows the gable end of the grammar school aligning with a boundary wall. So we think that's what we maybe got here. We've got the boundary wall going all the way out to the bottom of the trench there. But this is the key spot in terms of the grammar school itself. And as Chris was showing, we've got much nicer cobbles here, just leading up to the threshold. So that's brilliant, to think about all the people walking up and down here, entering into the grammar school and receiving their education inside. So exciting results, and hopefully we'll be able to tell you a little bit more in our second broadcast later on in the day.
Okay, well thanks very much, Gordon. So we touched a little bit the other day on the finds, and of course the finds are really important because they help us to date it. And the finds have a much longer life than what we see here. The excavation ends today, so as of the end of today we'll be reconstituting, we'll be putting it all back in, and we'll be resiting the turfs on top of it. But the finds themselves, they'll be analysed, they'll be debated over, and talk to us a little bit more about the laws, the very interesting laws that surround what comes out of the ground. Is Neil Curtis, Head of Museums for the University.
Yes, because before we've been thinking about these finds as of archaeological interest to be really interesting for us finding out more about the grammar school. But of course a lot of them are actually people's lost property, and I was just looking at the finds there, and there's that 1862 Victorian penny. Somebody lost that, somebody probably actually wanted to get it back, and so the law around that is about lost property. That really belongs to the descendants of that person, but we'll never find them. And so instead in Scotland the Crown steps in on behalf of all the lost property, and so everything really belongs to the Crown. So this isn't university property, all these finds. It's got to be reported to the Crown, and it's called treasure trove. So I mean, I definitely think this stuff is interesting, we should be thinking of it as treasure, but a lot of people would see it as broken rubbish and lost property, but in law it is treasure. So what will happen is that the Crown will have to decide who should get it. And basically that now is only accredited museums can be given treasure trove. So I'm hoping that this may come to the University Museum. It's certainly something I think is really closely tied in with the history of the university. But I'll have to write a letter of application to the Crown in order to get it.
Yeah, all of these processes are so much more complicated than you think that they're going to be. You're going to open up the grounds, you're going to find what we're going to find, and we've got a fairly good idea, but it actually turns out to be so much more complicated. And only in the last day do you actually get it. And the finds themselves, their history, becomes so much more complicated as well. But anyway, today is our last day, so please take the opportunity to come down this afternoon, chat to the archaeologists, take our tours. It's the last day of May Festival, but hopefully we'll see you today or log on this afternoon at 3:30 for our very last Live at the Dig. Thanks very much.